Good evening, Mrs. Baker. This is Gordon. I hope you aren't busy, but I have some good news for you. I was able to reserve the room that I promised you.
Thank you so much. I apologize for asking on such short notice, but even so, you still went through and helped me. I really don't know how to thank you. I'm sure it must have been quite difficult.
You don't have to worry about that. You're always helping me too, so of course I would do everything in my power to help you as well.
I appreciate you for always helping my husband and I.
You wanted to reserve a room for your wedding anniversary celebration, right?
Yes, that's right. My husband is always working overseas, so it was kind of difficult to decide on a day. But since their 10-year anniversary, he was able to get a couple days off. He just got back the other day, and now we're finally going on vacation together.
Oh, that's wonderful. I'm honored that you chose our hotel to celebrate such an important day in your lives.
He's always the one to make reservations for us, so this time I wanted to surprise him by making the reservation myself. I figured if I really wanted this to go well, I'd be better off asking you because I knew you'd be able to help me with all the small details on the day of.
Oh, yes, of course. However, I'm sorry to say that I won't be able to accompany you for your celebrations due to the fact that I also have to work overseas. The day that I leave happens to be the day that you reserved.
Oh, really? That's too bad. I was looking forward to celebrating with you. How'll we go about doing the preparations then?
I will inform the manager about everything, so would you be able to contact him about the details of your stay? It would probably be a lot easier for them to understand if you told him directly, rather than I did.
That's true. I'd also hate to put you through any more trouble. I'll contact him directly.
Oh, I have no problems whatsoever. I'm just terribly sorry that I won't be there on the day of the celebration. I'll give you the manager's phone number.
Yes, thank you. I also have one more thing to ask you.
Yes, what is it?
This might be a strange favor I'm about to ask you. Is that okay?
Hello, this is B. Adamson. I'm the manager. I got word from Gordon to contact you. What can I help you with today, ma'am?
Yes, thank you. My name is Leah Baker. I wanted to surprise my husband on the day of our wedding anniversary, so I was hoping that you could help me.
What kind of surprise were you planning? It will all be separate prices, so I hope you've checked our homepage.
What? Prices? I'm sorry, but I didn't check the prices.
This is a luxury hotel, so things like surprise cakes and champagne will cost an extra bit. I suggest you check the prices in advance.
Oh, okay.
Can I ask you to contact me when you've checked them?
I understand.
I would assume that you'll be with your children as well. I feel the need to remind you that this is a luxury hotel. There are a lot of high-class guests who stay with us.
Yes, I've heard about that. I've heard a lot of celebrities and famous athletes stay at your hotel.
I'd like to ask you to watch your children and make sure they don't do anything in front of those guests.
What is that supposed to mean?
I'm sure it would bother the guests if you were in the lobby, etc., with your noisy children. That's what I mean.
Yes, I'll definitely be careful about that. Now, about the surprise. I'd like to arrange an anniversary cake, champagne, and decorations in advance. And if it's not too much trouble, I'd also like to reserve the pool and bar area for the night.
Forgive me, Mrs. Baker. I just have a couple of things I need to confirm with you before we discuss this.
Huh? A couple things like what?
Do you have a chauffeur for the day of the celebration?
What? A chauffeur? What are you talking about?
Normally, our hotel welcomes many guests who have their chauffeurs with them. Mr. Gordon also told me to reserve a parking space for you. Is it a sports car or anything like that?
No, I don't have a sports car. I can't let my children ride in a sports car.
That makes sense. Well, is it an SUV or something bigger like that?
No, I have a small car. I'm sorry for asking, but does that have anything to do with the surprise?
As a manager of this expensive luxury hotel, I have the responsibility of thinking about my guests. Is there something wrong with that?
Well, no, there isn't. It just kind of feels like I'm being interrogated for no particular reason.
Well, excuse me. All I did was ask you the questions that needed to be asked. I'll be returning to my work now. We look forward to your stay, and please, take care.
Wait, what about the surprise? I don't think we really organized anything yet.
Please leave. You really thought you could stay here, didn't you?
What is the meaning of this? I'm pretty sure I made the reservation. Why didn't you even let us into the parking lot? Was there something wrong in the system or something? If it was the system, I printed out my reservation, so I can show that to you if you want.
It was just as I expected.
Just as you expected? What does that mean?
You came to our luxury hotel in your little mini car and thought you would be able to stay here? What were you thinking? How did you think that would work?
I just don't understand. I'm 100% positive that I made the reservation. The owner should have made it for me. I even have proof.
I'm sorry, but I just don't think a family who pulls up in a mini car would be able to afford a suite. Is that some kind of prank?
Are you looking down on us because of the type of car we drive? Our car has nothing to do with the fact that we made a reservation with this hotel. I don't get it.
That's not what I meant. You don't have a reservation with us, so I'm gonna have to ask you to leave. There's a little motel a couple of blocks down the road. Maybe you could ask them?
Are you trying to turn us away? Are you being serious? What about my anniversary surprise?
You probably can't afford it anyways, so there's no point in preparing the surprise. It would be a giant waste of time. We don't have any rooms for low-income people such as yourselves. If you'd like, I can compile a list of other locations that might be within your price range.
Low income? Are you being completely serious right now?
Of course I am. Do you all know what you're doing? You can't just stroll up to an expensive hotel without being able to pay for it.
I could ask you the same thing. What do you think you're doing? You can call me poor all you want, but I would still like to have my celebration like planned.
Wow, you're persistent. How many times do I have to tell you before you understand? Low-income families with mini cars cannot stay at our hotel. It's common sense. The owner is telling me to turn you away, so please leave.
Okay, that's fine with me. Then I guess that means you don't need the $5 million loan anymore.
Huh?
That's what my husband said. You said that the owner, in other words, Mr. Gordon, said to turn me away. If that's really the case, then the loan is off. But even if it isn't true, my husband says that he doesn't feel like lending you the money anymore. If this hotel has someone like you as the manager, there's no way that your business would recover.
Just what are you even talking about? What do you mean by that? What's all this about a loan? Are you trying to mess with me or something?
You're the manager, but you don't even know what's going on in your own hotel? Didn't the owner tell you? The business at your hotel dropped because of the recent COVID-19 infections, hasn't it? That isn't anybody's fault, but the hotel's revenue plummeted. That's why you all had to apply for a loan. My husband actually just approved the loan, but I'm not so sure about that anymore.
What? The financer is your husband? That has to be a joke, right? Please, tell me you're joking.
You're free to think of it as a joke all you want. But don't you think it's a bit strange? We were able to get a reservation for a suite with a 6-month waiting list?
That is true.
I don't think you know how much Mr. Gordon has been trying to win my husband's favor. You probably should have picked up on that at least.
Is that so? I'm terribly sorry, but allow me to confirm. You really aren't joking about this.
What do you mean?
Forgive me, but you came in a mini car, didn't you? It's a bit unrealistic that you would be the loan financer. I can't imagine that you'd have such a small car if you really had that much money.
I guess it's decided then. We will definitely not lend any money to a hotel where you're the manager. That's what my husband says anyways.
Why not? All I did was ask you about your car. I do believe you're overreacting.
It's too late to save yourself now. It doesn't make sense to start panicking. I'm sure the owner will be furious when he hears about this. By the way, you're an extremely ignorant person.
What? Ignorant?
The car that we were driving was not a mini car.
What? That car's so small, of course it had to be a mini car.
It's a classic car, and it's a very expensive one for your information.
Classic car? What?
It really feels like you're bringing down the reputation of your hotel just by being the manager. You were being ignorant and looked down on us because you thought we drove a cheap car, and because of that, you told us to go home. Is that something a proper hotel employee does to his guests?
I didn't think it was an expensive car. You didn't even have a chauffeur, so I misunderstood and thought you were low income.
You can misunderstand all you want, but using that as a reason to discriminate against your guests, don't you think that's a bad thing to do?
You might be right, but all I did was make bad judgment. I didn't mean for it to be rude or anything. Can you please just understand that?
Bad judgment or not, it's not a nice thing to do. I've never been treated like this in my entire life. You couldn't even help organize my surprise, even though my husband went through the trouble to get today off work. All that, and this is what happens? Thanks to you, our 10-year anniversary has been ruined. We were looking forward to this day for a very long time.
I'm terribly sorry. I'll start the preparations right now, so please come back. We'll get the surprise ready as well, and we'll throw in the cake and champagne as free service too.
No thanks.
What do you mean? If there's anything else you need, please just let me know.
I knew something was weird about the fact that we were making reservations over WhatsApp. I tried not to think too much about it, but I guess it's too late now. You definitely went too far with what you did.
I'm extremely sorry. I'll make sure something like this never happens again. Can you please just give us one more chance to make things right? Hello, Mrs. Baker. I hope everything is going well with your anniversary. I extend my heartfelt congratulations to the both of you.
Ah, Mr. Gordon, thank you very much. You actually texted me just at the perfect time. I'm afraid that nothing has gone as planned, and it's nothing to do with your hotel.
Oh, dear, I'm very sorry to hear that. Was there a problem?
Your manager, Mr. Adamson, is the problem, I'm afraid. He's insulted me and my family by assuming we were low income because of the fact that I drive a small car. It's ridiculous, but it was very unprofessional and rude of him.
What? Please allow me to apologize on his behalf. Mr. Adamson never seemed like the kind of person to say such discriminatory and distasteful things to a customer.
I have screenshots of the conversation if you need to see them. My husband is very angry, and he told me that the request you put in for the $5 million loan might be in jeopardy because of this.
This is very deplorable behavior from Mr. Adamson, and he will be dealt with appropriately. I'm very sorry that you had to experience this, Mrs. Baker. You are one of our most valued customers. Please, I would like to ask that you don't cancel the loan. Hello? Are you there? Can we just forget this ever happened?
Nope, it won't happen. I've already spoken to the owner anyways.
What? The owner? Gordon?
Right. We told him that we won't issue the loan as long as you're working as manager.
What?
That's what my husband told him. The rest is up to you. If I was him, I'd fire you in a heartbeat.
What, fire me? I'm the manager, though. I can't be fired.
If the hotel manager was this much of a piece of trash, of course the quality of the hotel would be affected as well.
Did you just call me a piece of trash? All I did was misunderstand your situation. There's no need for name-calling. Please, allow me to fix this. I was wrong for what I did. I'm sorry.
Sorry, but it's no use anymore. My husband is already angry, and I'm even more furious.
Wait, the owner is calling me right now. Do you think it's about your reservation?
Don't ask me. How about you answer the phone? I can't imagine why you wouldn't be angry right now. You tried to turn away a paying customer.
I didn't think that you would pay in the first place. I thought you would run off, and I was trying to avoid that. You didn't look like you could afford the cost of the suite.
You still don't understand what you're saying, do you? Doesn't that sound at least a tiny bit rude to you?
I'm sorry, I didn't mean it that way. You're misunderstanding me.
No, I think I understand you perfectly. You've just been saying anything you feel like, but everything came back to bite you in the butt.
I'm really sorry. I seriously regret what I said.
I already told you it's no use. It's over for you. Disgusting men like you, who make a living out of discriminating and judging people, will always just end up screwing themselves over. This is all your own fault. You've dug your own grave, and now you have to lie in it. In the end, Mr. Gordon was extremely furious about what Mr. Adamson had done. He wasn't satisfied with just firing him, so he requested that he pay reparations equivalent to a one-night stay in the suite. Mr. Adamson lost his position as manager and therefore lost his job, so he apparently used up all of his savings to pay the reparations. He was so quick to judge people based on appearances, and due to his arrogance and ignorance, he ended up dealing a lot of damage to himself. He dug his own grave, and now he doesn't know what to do. He's completely at a loss. As for our 10-year anniversary celebration, of course we weren't able to hold it as planned. Mr. Gordon felt extremely apologetic about the whole situation, and he offered us a free stay to make up for it. He also said he'd give us free catering and drinks. My husband had to go back overseas, and he won't be able to take a day off for another month, but it's definitely better than nothing. I appreciate Mr. Gordon a lot.
Hey, Natalie. My son's coming home for Christmas this year, isn't he? I know he's working overseas, but they still get Christmas holidays over there, don't they? Tell him I'd really like him to stop by and visit his family before he heads back overseas this time. Hi, Lynn. About that. My husband said they're really busy right now, and it doesn't look like he's gonna slow down. He's probably not gonna be coming back for Christmas this year. Sorry. The project is gonna be finished next year, so he should be back for good sometime in the spring. If he's not coming back for Christmas, it's probably because he just doesn't want to. Maybe he's had enough of his wife, huh? I can't blame him, especially after seeing how beautiful his little brother's wife is compared to you. I thought maybe he married you for your cooking. But after eating at your place a few times, I know that's not the case. Oh, I almost forgot. Make sure you're free next Sunday. Next Sunday? What's going on? Our whole family is going out for lunch. It's gonna be my treat. If you're free, you should come. You're always eating by yourself now that my son's overseas. I've made reservations at an expensive French restaurant. I hear their duck is to die for. Everyone's looking forward to it. Really? You want me to come? Of course! Why are you acting so surprised? Well, it's just... You've never invited me to any family get-togethers without Jonah being there, too. Don't say things like that. I consider you part of the family. You make it sound like I alienate you or something. Natalie, your mom was a single parent, right? Yeah. What's that got to do with anything? Well, I know you didn't have much money growing up, so you probably never ate any really good food. And I know you're not good at cooking. I just want to give you a chance to have some real food for once in your life. You know, to show you what food should really taste like. At this place, a 3-course meal is $120 a person. Have you ever even eaten duck before? How does that sound? Sounds great, doesn't it? Thanks for thinking about me, I guess. But Jonah has never complained about my cooking before. Natalie, think about what you're saying. Even if he wanted to tell you it was bad, he wouldn't. You're not too smart, are you? I suppose that's possible. So anyway, that's what's happening. Don't be late on Sunday. The reservation is for 1 p.m. I'll send you the restaurant's address later. Okay, thanks. I'm looking forward to it. Hi, Lynn. I'll be at the restaurant in a few minutes. Huh? You're coming? Everyone's already sitting down waiting for the food to come out. We're all here. Huh? I thought you said the reservation was for 1 p.m. I've still got 20 minutes, don't I? Everyone's there already? Of course! This is fine dining! Who could wait? It's only natural that we'd all come an hour early. Huh? An hour early? Can you even do that with a reservation for a specific time? Whatever. Anyway, I'll get there as fast as I can. I'm only like 5 or 10 minutes away. No. Don't bother. There's no more room at our table anyway. Sorry, I don't know what you mean. What are you talking about? This is a place for fine dining. It's not a place a person like you should be at. Even if someone as poor as you ate here, your tongue wouldn't be able to comprehend the taste. Having you eat this kind of food would just be a waste of money. Pardon? Then why did you invite me? Invite you? All I told you was that I was going out to eat with my family. Oh, you must have been mistaken if you thought I invited you. No, I'm pretty sure you invited me. You sent me the address of the restaurant and you told me to make sure I was available on Sunday. Even if I said that, I definitely didn't say that I had reserved a seat for you. What is going on here? You're really annoying, aren't you? Look, I don't care if you misunderstood. The fact of the matter is, I didn't reserve a seat for you. There's no room at our table. So just turn around and go home. I'm trying to enjoy this time with my family, and you keep interrupting me. Why don't you just go home and make yourself some instant ramen for lunch? We'll be over here enjoying our Doug. Or should I say, canard à l'orange? So, are you at home yet? You must be pretty tired from all the running around, huh? It's over 45 minutes from your house to the restaurant, and that much to get back home, too. I'd apologize for you, but it's your own fault you misunderstood. If you say so. So? Huh? So, what? What are you doing right now? I was just about to eat lunch. Oh, lol! So, what's for lunch today? Instant ramen? Mac and cheese? Tell me! Why do I need to tell you? I just want to know. You thought you were going to be having fine French dining, so I'm just curious about what you're having instead. Well, I think it'd be best if you didn't know. Is it really that bad? Worse than mac and cheese? Come on, now I've gotta know. Tell me. Well, let's see. Quite a few different things, actually. Sautéed oysters with wine and herbs to start, shrimp carpaccio, Alaskan Red King crab legs. Huh? Oysters? Shrimp? Alaskan Red King crab legs? That's not even a believable lie. That's not funny. I'm not lying. Do you want me to send you a picture? Where the heck are you right now? Do you really want to know? I'm at my uncle's restaurant. Your uncle's? I had come all this way, so when you said I couldn't eat with you, I called him to see if he had any empty seats at his restaurant. He didn't. He never does. But he told me to come over anyway, and he'd make room for me. He said it was great timing that I called him when I did, because he had some cancellations the past couple nights. So, there was a bunch of extra food he wanted to use while it was still fresh. This restaurant has the best seafood in the whole city. It's the Coral Reef Oyster. Have you heard of it? It's Michelin starred, if you know what that means. Lol. The Coral Reef Oyster? In the city? That place is always full. You've got to book reservations for months in advance to get in there. Yeah, that's right. My uncle owns the place. He used to be the head chef here until he bought the whole place. How can someone that great be related to you? This is the first I've ever heard of this. I don't believe it. This is all just BS, isn't it? I just asked everyone at my table, and everyone here agrees with me. They're all laughing at your lies, saying it's not possible. Oh, were you that embarrassed that you had to come up with such an elaborate lie? I'm sure I mentioned it to you at least once. But you probably did what you always do when I tell you something. You completely ignore whatever I say, and then when I'm done talking, you just say, "That's nice, dear." If you don't believe me, how about I send you a picture of me and my uncle together? Just take a look at the restaurant's homepage. The owner's face is right there. If you don't believe me, look at his face and look at my uncle's face in the picture I send you. And on the homepage, you can see that the owner's last name is the same as my maiden name. Just look into it for yourself. This is all just a big coincidence. I can't believe this. My uncle's seafood is the best there is. People come from all over the country to eat here. Oh, he just said he'll make me some pufferfish. He's licensed to do that, by the way. You said you've always wanted to try it, didn't you? Anyway, so, how's the food at that French restaurant? Huh? Well, obviously it's delicious. I told you, a 3-course meal here is $120 per person. We got the most expensive course the restaurant has. The duck was incredible. I see. The food is really good here, too. I don't know how many different dishes my uncle is gonna make for me. I don't think I can eat it all. Just the Alaskan red crab legs alone would cost $140 if my uncle wasn't treating me. I don't know what to have next. He said I can have the Maine lobster or the swordfish steak. They both sound amazing. Which one would you choose? What? Just wait. Maine lobster? On top of Alaskan red crab legs? And it's fresh? How much would all that be? Actually, I just asked my uncle that same question when he offered it to me. He said if I was a customer, my bill would probably be over $500. $500? That's just a rough estimate. It might be a little more than that. My uncle can only serve the freshest of food, so if something doesn't sell right away, he's got to do something with it. He's either got to take it home and eat it himself, give it to another chef, or cook it for me. I'm getting really full. I'm gonna have to tell him to stop making me things. But it's so delicious! I don't know if I can bring myself to stop. He's wasting all that expensive food by giving it to a poor person. The flavor and taste is completely wasted on taste buds like yours. What a waste of food. Hey, are you listening to me? Sorry, I ate too much. I was just giving my body a few minutes to digest. Don't worry, I'll be fine in a few minutes. Then maybe I'll have room for these shrimp. Oh, I just read your messages. No, you're wrong. I've been eating food like this since I was a kid. What? What are you talking about? How could a poor person have been eating food like that their whole life? Well, you know my mom was a single parent, right? My mom was busy with work a lot, so my uncle would often take me with him. That was back when he was still learning to be a great chef. We'd go around to lots of different places. He'd order the expensive foods to try them, and he'd let me have some. He taught me all about food. And when he was training as a chef, he'd make lots of different amazing meals for my mom and me. So I've been eating food like this since I was about 8 years old. But it's been a while since I've eaten this much of it. I need to come into the city more often. Oh my god. I just showed everyone the pictures from the homepage. Now everyone's saying they'd rather have gone there. You've got to do something. And after it took me this much work to get a reservation at this place. Why would you show everyone the pictures? Wait, I just thought of something. Let's do this. It's not fair that you're the only one in our family eating food like that, is it? Not fair? Hey, Natalie. How about you take us to your uncle's restaurant next time? Ask him to squeeze in a reservation for us all, okay? His treat, of course. All right? Huh? What are you talking about? It's no big deal. We're all family. We should eat together sometime. I can't believe you're even suggesting that. That's more than crossing the line. That's just insane. Asking him to get reservations for your family is one thing, but asking him to treat you? You're out of your mind. I don't understand your train of thought. Why would you even think that what you just asked was okay? Especially after what you did to me today. And I know you did it deliberately, so don't even try to tell me it was my mistake. Is that what you think I'm here for? For you to make fun of and kick around for your own pleasure? And then to try to use me in an attempt to get thousands of dollars of free food from my uncle. And before you even try to deny it, if you didn't want to eat with me today, why did you invite me? Wait, don't even answer that. I know exactly why. You did it just to have everyone laugh at me and to make yourself feel better than someone else. As soon as I think you might be changing and you might start being nice to me, you go and do something like this. You love to see my reaction when you disappoint me, don't you? You do it just to kill time, don't you? Don't you? What? Oh, is this your way of saying you want me to apologize for today? I'm sorry. There, I apologized. Are you happy? We can put this all behind us now. It's all water under the bridge. Okay? Water under the bridge, huh? That should be up to the victim to decide, not you. What's your problem? What the heck do you want me to do then? There's no getting through to you, is there? You make fun of me just because we don't have a lot of money. But at least I have some common sense, and I don't turn up my nose at others. There's not a trace of human decency in you. What did you say to me? How dare you talk to me like that? I'm your mother-in-law. What's your point? Oh, hold on. My uncle has something he wants to say to you. He said people like you aren't welcome at his restaurant, so don't bother coming. After that, Lynn tried calling me a few times to yell at me. So my uncle answered my cell phone for me, and he told her exactly what he thought of her. She never tried calling me again after that. Although, from what I heard later, Lynn was still in the French restaurant when she called me and my uncle answered. My uncle was smart enough to step outside when the argument started getting heated. But Lynn apparently wasn't that smart. She caused quite a big scene at the French restaurant as all her other family members tried to get her to stop yelling. Not only was her entire party kicked out of the restaurant, they were also banned from ever coming back. Up until now, I had never told my husband about how his mother was treating me. But this time, I figured it was best if he knew what had happened. I called him to tell him the story, and even sent him a copy of the chat history with his mom. He couldn't believe what he read, and he immediately called his mom from overseas. I guess it was a 3-hour phone call, and he was yelling at his mom for most of it, trying to get an explanation of why she had done all the things she had done to me. In the end, he told her never to speak to either of us again. I didn't know if he was really serious when he told me he was never speaking to his mom again. But when his project was finished and he came back from overseas, he put our house up for sale. He said he wanted us to move even further away from her, and to make sure she didn't have our address either. My husband and I still go to my uncle's restaurant from time to time because he gives us family discounts.